First, I just want to say it's our first time doing the interview together. This is my wife.
Yeah.
And
Okay, so don't mess it up.
yeah, I know.
And let her do the talking.
Okay, I will.
I've been married
Okay.
for 25 years. This is how you do it.
I know. Thank you for that.
Yeah,
She'll
no,
start.
that's
Yeah.
good.
So,
Okay. What inspired you to expand the world of Pandora and Fire and Ash? And is there any real place on Earth that you use an inspiration?
that's it. Really interesting. So overall, Fire and Ash is the culmination of really a single story. Started in The Way of Water. So originally it was all one script. And I decided to expand it by cutting it in half and moving it apart. And taking some of the spider elements and moving them later into the story. So the spider story really comes into, I mean, you've seen the film, right?
Yeah.
So you can see how he's kind of more important and he's kind of the glue that holds all the other storylines together, right? In terms of actual visual inspiration, I was on an expedition in 2012 where I was diving my submersible that I designed to the deepest place on the planet. And we did some of our testing offshore in Papua New Guinea. And so then I did some exploration in Papua New Guinea because it was a National Geographic film that we were making anyway. And there's this town of Rabaul that had been basically destroyed by a volcano. It had been completely buried by ash up to 30 feet deep. And I was fascinated by how, basically everybody had moved. But what if it had been more widespread devastation and people had to stay there? And I saw these kids playing in these ash fields with these little toys that they made that they thought of as cars, but they just made these little things that spun, and it just created these big clouds of ash that blew in the wind. And I said, all right, I'm doing that. And then we also, up in the highlands, when we were exploring some of the tribes up in the highlands, there's this group of people called the Baining tribe, and they had a fire ceremony that was quite dramatic, and we filmed that as well. Wow. And so I incorporated that also into Varong's clan and how they celebrated the capture of the Sully family, but mostly the getting of the gun, the power of the gods almost to them. And so they do this big celebration, and the fire ceremony came from filming the Binding kicking through these big bonfires, and so some of the visuals of that. Although, that said, Una Chaplin, who plays Varong, that whole thing that she does with her weapon where she spins it, and that whole dance thing that she does, she created all that herself. That's all her own choreography.
That's amazing.
Yeah, she brought a lot to the film.
Okay, so the first film, revolutionized the history of cinema with 3D. We'll never forget that, of course. Now, with the third film, is there any new technological breakthrough or technical improvement?
We use the same technology that we've used on the previous two films, which I like to call acting. It's not about the technology, folks.
I see, yeah.
It's about the acting. It's about the people, right? So I write it, I work with the actors, we use the same performance capture technology. It's improved, of course. Everything improves with time. But the important thing for me is to get the technology out of the way. We get the technology out of the way for the actors, and we get truthful, authentic, emotional performances. And then, I don't know, did you guys cry at all? Or maybe a little bit?
Yeah.
A little bit?
I did 9 times.
He cries a lot.
I cry
9 times.
It's,
Okay.
It's miserable.
He cried 9 times, and he's asking me about the technology.
I know.
Okay, all right. No, but see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I think people, and we also get the technology out of the way for the audience. You're just on Pandora. Don't ask us how we did it. It's magic.
Yeah.
You're familiar with Arthur Clarke, the famous science fiction writer?
Yeah.
Anyway, he had these laws, Clarke's laws. The second law is any sufficiently advanced technology is indistinguishable from magic.
I see. No AI at all. No AI at all.
No AI, no. So generative AI creates a new image from prompts, and it based on training data. We don't use that at all on the Avatar films. We use computers, but everybody uses computers for everything they do these days, right? And we've been doing that for 30 years. So it's the best way to think of it is that it's digital makeup.
I see. Yeah.
So we create these characters like a makeup artist would create a character. The only thing is with makeup, I can give you a chin, a nose, some pointy ears, a big Klingon forehead or whatever, but I can't make your eyes bigger. And when we make those Navi eyes bigger and we move them farther apart and the face changes shape, it's all the actors from here down, and it's more Navi from here up. And I think it's the power of the eyes that gets you.
That's true. I don't know what's with the Navi eyes, but every scene that a Navi cried, I cried. I don't know why. I don't know if it's those big eyes.
It's our mirror neuron, right? So it's empathy. So when you have a character in a movie that's in pain, we feel a sympathetic reaction. It's natural, you know. And that's been true, I think, to a certain extent in the earlier Avatar films, but I think it's much more powerful in this one. Yeah. So when you think about what's new in this film, I think it's a new level of the depth of the story with the characters, you know. And there's a bunch of new stuff, too, by the way. You know, you got the Wind Traders, you got the Ash people, you got a whole bunch of new hardware, you know, ships and crazy stuff. You know, the humans have not stopped progressing.
True.
Yeah. What are you the most proud of when you think about Fire and Ash and about the Avatar franchise as a whole?
There are scenes that I'm proud of. Some of them I can't talk about because they're spoilers. Where I really thought that the actors just nailed it, and even I can tear up even in my own movie, even though I've seen every part of it thousands of times, you know. And I'm so grateful to have these actors that did this amazing stuff. I really personally enjoy the visuals in the scene where Quaritch goes to Varong, and she forces him to tell the truth. I don't want to say too much more about that, but that to me that's a fun scene, just because of the way the two of them have this kind of dance of power between them. But you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, we can agree.
Yeah. And when you're, you know, in the middle of recording and stuff, what's the delivery between you and the actors? Is there a lot of improv? Is there stuff that you put in
we
at the time?
We do a lot of improv. I always tell them going in, you know, the script is a departure point. And so sometimes, like if it's a big argument with a lot of issues, and we have a lot of scenes like that where there's conflict, I'll just let them play from character but ignore the words. Just get into it, right? And feel it and see where their sympathetic impulse outweighs their need to say something that's dark or will be injurious to the other person, be hurtful, right? And so this is all relationship stuff. So Sam is married and has children. Zoe's married and has children. I always thank them every day for, you know, really putting in the research, right?
Yeah.
Getting married and having children just so you can play Jake and Neytiri better. It's like, you guys are great. They're the best.
We're on our way to. So
Right? Exactly.
And I just love the sense of humor too. It was awesome. But the last question is, what's your message to the Avatar fans who will be soon be able to watch Fire and Ash?
I'd say brace yourselves. It's an experience. It's not a movie. It's an experience. And I think, isn't that what we want when we go to the cinema these days?
Definitely.
You can watch a story episodically on streaming and so on, but is it going to move you? Is it going to shake you? Is it going to grab you and shake you? I think we select when we go to the cinema for something that we know is going to be a true experience. And that's why cinema is shrinking a little bit, but hopefully Avatar stays on the side of the movies that people want to go on the journey. At least I hope so, anyway.
Yeah, it does.
Okay, good.
It's an amazing movie. And
a piece of art.
Okay, all right, thanks. I appreciate
thank you very much.
Thank you so much.